I am Master of the TDS.
I'm WritingRaven.
We have 3 topics for you from the past week in one video. A synopsis of the Psycho.
A Psycho-Synopsis. Do we have to do Acolyte again? If we keep talking about it, we're the ones who are gonna need therapy.
We don't ask with your discourse.
Are you vibrating?
No, I'm Amanda Stenberg.
Oh yeah, you're the one who made that terrible video hating on fans. Are you having a seizure?
No, I'm just perpetually dancing on my haters.
I see. And how is that working for you?
Well, they haven't fired me yet. Must be because I'm black.
Isn't your dad Danish?
How dare you? I'm offended. I'm gonna go tell Dave Filoni.
Shh, it's okay, Ears. Don't worry. She can't hurt you anymore.
Amanda Stenberg, lead actress of The Acolyte, a new Disney Plus Star Wars series, released a controversial music video addressing perceived depression and criticizing detractors amidst backlash and poor audience ratings for the show.
And it did nothing for her except get her laughed at.
And as you can see here, she put up, it said, "To those who are flooding me with intolerable racism,
Not happening.
Since it took me 72 hours on my laptop to make this song and video, you got 72 hours to respond and I expect choreo."
No.
Let's get this out of the way. Currently, The Acolyte is sitting at 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It got lower?
Yes.
Sweet.
Are there people out there who are probably being racist towards her? Yes, I'm sure there are.
But the majority of people are just commenting on how she's a terrible actress. And from this music video, I now also know that she can neither act, dance, nor sing.
But a lot of people are criticizing the show, not her. I have not heard very many people bring up the fact that she's in the show. The only thing that they mention is how she doesn't seem to be able to emote very well.
I mean, I used to say the same thing about Tobey Maguire and SpiderMan, but everyone will say I'm crazy for thinking that.
Well, look, to each their own. But this was not how you do this. Honestly, I think this was just to get headlines because she was upset. Now, to be fair, some of what she said is valid. The part where she talked about how someone took one of her interviews out of context for a movie and then was using it like it was a press tour for The Acolyte, that's not true.
And got debunked pretty quickly when that came out, so...
It did, but she has a right to at least say that was not cool, but...
She also missed the point of everything else by saying, I am the victim, I'm oppressed, and you all have to love me.
Basically, that's what she said. If you want to go watch the 3-minute video and you want to have your ears bleed, you may go ahead and do that.
I recommend sparing your ears and your sanity.
And apparently she's copyright claiming videos that have it in it, so we're not going to cover it.
Absolutely not, no.
We're just going to mention how cringe it was. If you want to go see it and experience the cringe firsthand, you are more than welcome to.
Warning, you may need a resuscitator.
Fair enough. Now, another thing to bring up quickly is 2 things. One is that there was a controversy going on The Acolyte regardless because they brought Jedi Master Ki-Adi-Mundi into the show.
When he wasn't supposed to be alive at the time.
And Wikipedia decided to change the entry, and Star Wars Theory caught it live while it was happening because his chat was letting him know, and then Wikipedia played victim and said people were sending death threats. Now, if people are sending death threats to them, that's not okay.
But more people are sending them to Star Wars Theory. If you want to know more, check out my husband's Twitter.
Yeah, I made a post about it, but death threats are not okay. But claiming that Star Wars Theory, it's his fault, it's not his fault. There's no reason why you should be attacking him. Leave him alone. It's okay if we have different opinions, and doing whatever, flopping around like a dead fish on video to get own the haters doesn't work.
What he said. Next, we have Epic Universe. I wonder who's coming in for that.
Me need therapy.
Well, this is a surprise. Never thought I'd see one of the classics in our clinic. What can I do for you?
Brain needs fix. Doctors say therapy good. I come. Want therapy.
Electric shock therapy isn't really something we offer.
So, no zap zap.
No. No zap zap. I also don't know how you'd pay. Does the doctor give you an allowance?
Have 2 tickets to Dark Universe in Orlando, Florida.
You had me at Dark Universe.
Universal's Epic Universe is opening Dark Universe in 2025, featuring legendary monsters like Frankenstein's monster and a werewolf, offering rides, attractions, and experiences in a grim, mythic world designed to immerse visitors in horror and mystery.
I want to go. I want to go. I want to go right now.
It's not open yet.
But I want to go now. Can we time travel? Can we find a real DeLorean and go there, please?
I can see what we can do about going there when it actually opens.
Fair. Because I really want to go.
But it's a really cool thing. There actually is a little video where they show, I think it's like a concept art for it kind of thing. I don't think it's the actual place, but it's what they imagine it to look like.
Yeah, it looks like an animation overview. It looks like an animated overview of the section of the park featuring Dr. Frankenstein's castle with electricity running through it. The werewolf, I think, is in a circus cage.
Yeah.
And I think there might also be some Transylvania elements in there too. I am looking forward to this so much.
It looks really cool. And as it says, it's like a very dark style world. It's not like, there have been like dark places in certain theme parks before, but a lot of times they try to bring an appeal to more the kids. And because of that, they're toned down.
Yeah, which is unfortunate because if you want to go for dark, you got to go with scary.
Well, this looks like it's actually going to go all out, and that's what's really cool. And keep in mind, we're talking about this is going to be Universal Orlando. So Universal is known for having, their Hollywood Horror Nights and all this kind of stuff. So I could see them doing a really good job.
I mean, when we finally got to go to Hollywood Horror Nights that time in Orlando, I had the most fun ever. So I'm definitely going to have fun there. And I can only imagine what Hollywood Horror Nights will be like in the Dark Universe section of the park. I need to calm down, don't I?
Yes. And just so people know, and this will shock none of you, when we were in Orlando, Raven was the only person there who actually scared the scarers.
It was awesome. A worker saw it and laughed out loud.
Because she, attacked one. Didn't attack them.
No,
but,
he revved his chainsaw and I hissed at him.
And he kind of went whoa.
So then he tried again and I hissed again and he ran away and then that janitor just laughed. Oh, that was great.
Yeah. So, in other words, if we go to Dark Universe, I got to make sure to...
Restrain me?
It's
the best word.
It's the best word, but it has other connotations that we're not going into.
Sorry, I couldn't think of anything else.
Anyways, back to Epic Dark Universe.
Just turn me into a mummy and carry me in a sarcophagus.
Anyway, back to Epic Universe. We decided to change this up because there wasn't a lot of news this week and we wanted to talk about something that we actually looking forward to. So this looks really good. And if I was Disney, I would be...
Taking notes?
Taking notes, and I'd be concerned.
I'd be taking a lot of notes. Write that down. But
I'd be concerned because this is going to go badly for them. If this looks as well as they made it look in the video, it's going to do really well, like Harry Potter.
It's going to do really well in general because it's classic monsters. Dracula, Frankenstein, the werewolf, the mummy, Hunchback of Notre Dame, etc., etc. Of course people are going to show up because people love the classics. I love the classics. Bela Lugosi will always be my Dracula.
Anywho, moving on.
And lastly should be SpiderMan. Or is it Doc Ock?
Where is that menace?
Mr. Jameson? What are you doing here?
Don't give me that! I have reliable intel that Spider-Man was seen entering and leaving this premise just last week.
Actually, that was Venom.
A likely story. Now tell me where you're hiding him. Is he under your desk? Is he in that room behind you?
No, my husband is. The therapist. This is a therapy office.
Great! I can see the headline. Spider-Man needs therapy. Has the stress finally gotten to him? We'll run with that tomorrow. Parker, I need new pictures of Spider-Man ASAP. Parker!
What just happened?
In Superior Spider-Man number 8, Peter Parker faces off against loved ones, including J. Jonah Jameson and Aunt May, who have been mind-controlled by Doc Ock using his technology to form the Superior Spider Colony.
JJ is a loved one. Just saying.
Hey guys, do you want to know who wrote this?
Dan Slott!
Because Superior Spider-Man was the only thing that he really wrote that people actually liked.
Yeah, it was the only work of his that was decent, and it must have gone to his head.
Yeah, so they decided to bring it back, and now it's what's better than one Superior Spider-Man? 3 of them. So apparently Doc Ock, uses his same technology and overwrites the brains of J. Jonah Jameson, Robbie Robertson, I believe, and Aunt May, and Peter gives them all corny little names, and they're the Superior Spider Colony, and they want Peter to become one of them.
One of us. No? Yeah, no.
Why are we doing this?
I don't know. Probably because they're completely out of ideas and they have no creativity left.
Probably. But now you could argue that this is a side book, so it's not really that big of a deal. But they've been not really being very good to Spider-Man in general. And this just is like a cop-out. It's like saying, we had one Superior Spider-Man that did well. Let's make more of them. Why?
Because they can.
Isn't Doc Ock supposed to be, really intelligent?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. He creates the ability to have his mind in other people's bodies, right? And he decides to go after Peter's loved ones to get Peter, but couldn't he go after, any hero that wouldn't know about him or wouldn't have knowledge of him and do that there?
That would make more sense, but that would require a competent writer.
Imagine for a minute if he somehow managed to do it to Iron Man. Imagine him with Iron Man armor and stuff like that. Or he could do it to Captain America or whatever. You'd never know the difference. But no, we need to do Spider-Man again because he's a Spider-Man villain and we can't do anything different. We just have to do more of what we already did.
But they have heroes and villains overlap all the time.
I miss when there were events in comics that I actually wanted to know about. This one I know about and I don't care. And I have no interest in reading. And it might be good for all I know, but it just seems dumb.
Yeah, same. The only modern comic event I was ever interested in was Gore the God Butcher, and they completely butchered that in the MCU. I will never forgive them for it.
And I do want to say one thing. I will give Dan Slott a little bit of props.
For what?
Not being on Twitter. He actually hasn't been on Twitter for quite some time. So props to you, Dan. I don't know what you're doing with your withdrawal, but good on you, bud. You said you were going to do it, and you did it.
Guess someone took away his phone?
That could be possible, too.
And now it is time for the diagnosis of the week,
where we take events that occurred during the week and relate it to a mental illness.
Because Hollywood is full of them, and you should be aware.
And we have an interesting diagnosis for this week.
Do tell.
The diagnosis for this week is self-handicapping.
Please explain.
So self-handicapping is a cognitive strategy where individuals create or exaggerate obstacles to their own success. By doing so, they provide themselves with a ready-made excuse in case they fail, protecting their self-esteem. This behavior can take various forms such as procrastination, avoidance of effort, or setting oneself up for failure in advance.
In relation to today's topics, with Star Wars The Acolyte, self-handicapping is evident in Stenberg's decision to release a video accusing fans of racism instead of acknowledging shortcomings and errors in the show, thereby preemptively shifting blame for any failure onto the audience.
With Dark Universe, in contrast to self-handicapping, the creators of Dark Universe are actively engaging with fans as evidenced by their responsiveness to feedback and demonstrating that not all Hollywood practices are negative.
And with Spider-Man, self-handicapping is evident as writer Dan Slott and Marvel revisit the Superior Spider-Man storyline, relying on past successes and deflecting responsibility for creative stagnation by rehashing familiar themes instead of innovating.
And that's why we feel this is a great diagnosis for this week.
Agreed.